We literally got to the finish line, getting ready to list. The NASDAQ is reviewing all the final paperwork. So we don't have any comments from the SEC. The SEC has given us a check mark. And then literally the NASDAQ implemented a new rule that you had to raise 15 million total cash to be listed on the NASDAQ.
Welcome back to another episode of Advisor AI Solutions Podcast, where we're exploring how innovation, technology, and smart business strategy can transform industries. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Thomas Gaffney, the COO of OFA Group, or Office for Fine Architecture. Thanks for joining us today, Thomas.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, I love it. So to start things off, Thomas, can you walk us through your journey?
Sure. Yeah. Long journey. Long story short, I was a military brat growing up. I was supposed to go in the military coming out of college, but I tore all my ligaments in my left shoulder, broke my jaw in 3 places playing sports. So I got medically disqualified, and then ended up kind of deciding to go to law school. I kind of fell in love with business and just building in tech in general. I was always putting stuff together when I was a kid, installing things, Legos. Like I installed a car garage for my mom one time when I was like 13, so that was fun. But yeah, so that's how it kind of started, But in law school, I really fell in love with tech. Like I said, moved out to California, Los Angeles, was working with mainly in the crypto space and like venture capital financing and like advising startup companies as an attorney. I was out there when I happened to meet Larry at a poker game. Larry's our CEO of OFA Group. And we got to chatting, and he had this big vision to go IPO with his company. And he was telling me all these tech AI tools that they were currently planning on building. I loved it. I really kind of like being on the other side of business rather than just being a paper pusher as an attorney. And he offered me this position after talking for a really long time and kind of debriefing about what we're doing. And I feel like it was an opportunity that I couldn't really refuse. And so haven't looked back. It's been really good.
That's awesome. Sorry, how long has OFA Group been established for?
So OFA Group is actually the parent company and the list co of the legacy business, which is Office for Fine Architecture. So Office for Fine Architecture, which is based in Hong Kong, and they are the architects, designers, builders, construction company that is prevalent out there. They've been established since 2014. Larry and the co-founder Keith founded it together, and we're building it for a long time. And then while we were in the process of kind of evaluating how we wanted to go IPO and what company we're going to take public, the Hong Kong regulations are incredibly scrutinous in terms of like taking a Hong Kong company public on the Hong Kong side, just because of all the shares and regulatory stuff. So we set up a holding company. So now in the Cayman Islands called OFA Group, right? And OFA Group is a much broader, expansive kind of corporation, almost acts as a holding company for a bunch of different revenue generating streams of business. And we formed that back in August of last year. So that's only been around for about a year, but the legacy business has been around for over a decade. And I've been working with Larry since March of 2024. Yeah, we're just kind of getting started. We've got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline.
That's awesome. I'm super excited for you guys. That cannot have been an easy process to navigate and to get through international hurdles, especially dealing with China and then also in the Caymans as well, right?
Yeah. No, it was wild. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, taking a company IPO is a beast. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of different moving pieces. I mean, I think we had probably 8 different law firms working for us at the time. One in US, one in Cayman, securities attorneys, one in Hong Kong, me, myself as kind of in-house kind of style helping out. But yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
That sounds like a massive undertaking, but absolutely commend you guys. Congratulations on getting to this point. With that being said, um, you've had your history, a very unique path with, from law to
Yeah.
architecture and
Mm,
AI.
mm.
What's kind of like one unexpected lesson that you've carried through your legal days, maybe perhaps into your role now?
Be flexible. I mean, just because when we were going through the IPO process, so initially the Nasdaq had this rule where you had to raise a certain amount of capital to be listed on the Nasdaq, right? And that was about, I think it's 7.6 million, and then your float, which is the amount of shares that are trading at any certain time, had to equate to 15 million. We literally got to the finish line of getting ready to list. The Nasdaq is reviewing all the final paperwork. So we don't have any comments from the SEC. The SEC is giving us a check mark, and then literally the Nasdaq implemented a new rule that you had to raise 15 million total cash to be listed on the Nasdaq. Literally, like the week we were expected to kind of go public, right? And so we made a mad dash, big scramble, went to our investors, did a bunch of pitching, and within like about a week and a half, we were able to secure the additional $7.5 million in funds, and um, we submitted the book to the Nasdaq, and they gave us the green light, and we're ready to go, right? And so, because they literally gave us a date, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be listed," and it's like, "Okay, cool, awesome." Everyone's celebrating, and they're like, "Actually, wait a minute, no, you're not." and so we kind of had to do a mad dash scramble, but luckily we have a really good investor base, shareholder base that kind of backs us and really believe in what we're doing, and so we were able to kind of get together and kind of go out and pitch out, and it worked.
That's awesome, collaborating and being under the gun and then being able to pull something off and that short time frame. So that's also, along other pressures and challenges you guys are facing on top of that, that's an even bigger feat. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah, totally.
great to hear.
Cool.
Okay, so OFA Group, you guys blend artistry and technology. For someone who are just hearing about you guys for the first time, how do you guys describe your guys' mission as a company?
So OFA Group, we are essentially trying to reshape the way construction and building design and implementation of that is done. Right, like we have these two AI tools. One is called PlanAid, and the other one is called QuickBIM. That we really think is going to help revolutionize the speed at which buildings are permitted, approved, and ultimately constructed, and then also the cost, right? Like, because one of the biggest costs into building a building is actually the planning, right? Because like
Right.
you've got like the materials, which in terms of what you're using is kind of not fixed, it's fluctuating a little bit, but like 4% here, 3% there, right? But the actual planning process can take a long time because you need to get permits, you need to get approvals from the city, you need to get all of the contractors signed off and everything. And we're building some tools with the help of artificial intelligence to completely streamline that process. And so we're really excited about what we're doing on that front, and I think we're gonna impress a lot of people.
That's actually incredibly exciting, and you know, with our company itself, we've met with dozens of other architectural firms, suppliers, builders who are going and through that same challenge that you just mentioned.
Mhm.
And once something like that is built out, that's definitely gonna change the industry, tenfold if not more, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree, and it's just right now it's like it takes anywhere between 2.5 to 4 years to build a building, right? And a lot of that time is discussing with the permitting office and getting blueprints approved, planned, permitted out. And so one of the tools that we're building is called PlanAid, And we hope to kind of integrate this within the local jurisdictions that are giving out these permits. It essentially what you do is you take the blueprint and upload it to the machine, and it will go through every single code of like fire safety, plumbing, electrical engineering, mechanical, structural engineering, and it'll spit out where there's issues, right? And right now, that's all done by hand. So, say if you have a 30-story building, it's a hotel. A lot of safety involved because people are sleeping there, like they're so it's like a little bit extra cautious on that spot. And an architect sitting down, drawing it by hand. Well, with AutoCAD, when I say by hand, but on the computer with the mouse.
Right.
But and they're looking through, trying to make sure they're matching up with all the local jurisdiction codes and everything. And you have a tool that's telling you that, hey, if you submit this, it's going to get rejected because a fire exit is too far away from a certain building, a certain room, right? Or a fire extinguisher is not placed in the correct place, right? Or the distance of not the distance, the area of the exit itself is a little too small, right? And so the tool that we're building automatically generates all of that analysis, and it tells you, the architect, one, where the problems are, and then where we really think it's going to help speed up the process is in the permitting office, because they're seeing these plans for the first time. Like the architect's sitting down, drawing it, trying to make sure it matches up to code, and then submitting it, right? And then these permitting offices, it's the first time they've ever seen a 30-story building. They have to check all the code compliance, but instead, if they have our tool, they upload it. They see the areas that it's correct. They see why it's correct. It cites directly to the code section that is applicable for that area, and then they can spot out the areas that have issues, right? And then it's like, oh, hey, this area has an issue. Why is it? And then so traditionally it takes 3, 4, maybe even 5 rounds sometimes right now because it's all done by hand and eyeballs, right? Like that we're trying to, which could take several months to a year. We're trying to be able to reduce that time down to a 1 submission, a 2 submission maybe, right? And so that could cut down times from 12 months to 3 months. And so if you think about a hotel, if you can get something done 9 months faster, that's 9 months of revenue that you're bringing in, right? That's 9 months where you can have guests. That's 9 months where people are booking rooms, right? And so that's just one of the tools that we're kind of working on and bringing to the market here really shortly, that we're really excited about.
Man, you're getting me excited about that just from the aches and pains that other firms have shared with me, and you and friends and family. Just the heartaches of drawings not lining up and then
Mm-hmm.
being set back because of different codes. But so, what phase are you guys in now? Are you guys still testing in beta, or
We're
is there
in
an
the
estimated time to roll
final
out?
we're in the final testing phase. We are now in the phase where we are uploading local jurisdiction codes to actually implement it and roll it out, right? So the hardest thing we had to do was get the computer to read the lines, right? Like, because I don't know if you've ever seen a blueprint, but you have lines drawn, you have distances measured, area that's laid out, and it's all kind of like layered on top of everything. And so it was really difficult to get the computer to dissect all the information, right? Like, because they would originally it was pulling wrong numbers, it was measuring incompletely, it wasn't using the right area, right? It was taking, say, part of another floor and incorporating into that. And so the hardest part was just getting the computer to read the actual blueprint correctly. And so we've kind of got that down. And now that that's down and ready to go, all we have to do is go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And this is going to be an automated process, and get the code uploaded to the machine, have the machine be able to interpret the code to then interpret the blueprint. And so that's the phase we're at currently, because we've had several successful renditions with the blueprints, and now it's reading the lines and it's interpreting the code, and we're ready to go. So we should be rolling this out probably by Q4.
Awesome, I love that, man. Best of luck to you guys to get to that point.
Thanks.
Hopefully we can have you guys on another episode once you guys
Sure.
are fully rolled out and full steam ahead with it.
No, 100%, absolutely. And that's just one of the tools. We've got a couple others that we're really excited about, but I've been talking a lot, so
No, that's totally welcome. I'm enjoying this conversation.
cool.
So Thomas, I also read that you guys, on the tech side of things, you guys also started accepting cryptocurrency payments.
Yep, yep, yep.
So that's a pretty bold step, but
Sure.
you mind sharing what the story behind that decision was?
Sure. So this is kind of like a little bit of my push, but also Larry loves crypto and Web3 as well, and so do some of our investors, and they're really excited about it because one, crypto is a very interesting tool, right? It's a lot of it. Most people who don't know much about the industry, they think it's all a scam, is everything's fake, which there is a lot. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on, but uh, there's also a lot of good that a lot of people don't see, right? And so um, it's how we're using crypto right now is we started a crypto treasury, right? And so for initially, we have $100 million facility that we were going to be purchasing most likely Bitcoin, maybe Solana, maybe SWI, something like that. Uh, and we are going to use it as a tool, a financing tool to have non-dilutive uh, operating capital, right? So one of the cool things about Bitcoin is say you own $10 million worth of Bitcoin. You can use pretty sophisticated um, like option trading strategies that can generate revenue just based on the asset that you hold, right? So one strategy is called a covered call option strategy, where I don't know if you know anything about call options, but essentially what you do is you sell call options for Bitcoin to have, say, Bitcoin's at 100,000, and you sell a call option for $10,000 for it to hit 110,000. If it doesn't hit that price, then you get to keep that money, right? Because people are hedging their bets up against the price of Bitcoin.
Yep.
And if it gets close to that point, you can reverse and you can buy the options back if you really want to, or you could sell the Bitcoin to them at that price and then go ahead and repurchase it if you want. Like, so we want to use crypto as a way to generate revenue without having dilutive financings on the balance sheet, right? So if we bring on, like I said, anywhere between say 10 to 20, 30 million, we have up to 100 million facility, and we can generate say a yield, like this is all like yield farming from DeFi, in between 6 to 8%. That's potentially $6 to $8 million a year, right? If we have $100 million,
Right.
and we can either reinvest that in Bitcoin or we can use that as operating capital for the company, right? And we're essentially generating revenue just based on assets that we hold, right? You can lend against it, you can borrow against it. The adoption that's happening right now in the crypto markets is incredibly positive. With the current administration, they've been issuing positive regulatory opinions and legislation that cryptocurrency is going to be to become a mainstream, at least under the current administration that we have. And it's a really interesting space to be in because there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of what's happening right now is moving towards the internet, and cryptocurrency is the currency of the internet, right? And so we're kind of being a little bit movers and shakers, especially in architectural world, because you don't usually say, "Oh, architecture firms are accepting Bitcoin now." Wait, what? You know what I mean? And so, but we believe in it. We believe in tech, and we think that the future is moving um, towards the internet, and the currency of the internet is cryptocurrency, right? And so we just want to be early adopters. We've got a good team in place to help us capitalize on the opportunity that's currently happening, and so that's kind of why we're bringing it on.
That's awesome. It's funny because my next question was going to be what's the most exciting shift happening in architecture right now?
Sure.
Super exciting to hear these things.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be part of the team. It's really cool because like I said, my whole background is in crypto. I've been in Web3 since 2016 professionally. I as an attorney, and now I get to be on the business side. So honestly, it's a lot more fun. Less paperwork, more fun.
Any other big trends or yeah, any big
Oh,
trends coming that
sure.
outside
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
crypto
So
or AI?
I mean, AI adoption is massive, right?
Yeah,
So like a lot of people are afraid of AI, just because they're like, oh, it's going to get rid of all these jobs, and it will get rid of, not necessarily. I don't think it'll get rid of jobs. I think what it'll do is speed up the process, right, and create more economic opportunity, right? So someone utilizing an AI tool can do something in a tenth of the time that it would take them just to do it themselves, right? And so if you're doing something in a tenth of the time, and architecture is based on time, right? Because it's a
right.
service, right? So the less time you spend, the cheaper it is, right? So if you can provide a faster, cheaper service, then the amount of economic activity that can branch off from that is exponential. So, like I said, go back to the hotel example, right? So, if you can build something 9 months faster because you're utilizing AI, that means that the person who is building the building and investing the money into the hotel, they're making revenues 9 months before they would have been, right? And then so all of a
Right.
sudden, the amount of capital that's going around, there's more of it. They're like, oh, let's go put up another building over here. You know what I mean? Let's go reinvest this over there. So there's going to be, like, yes, AI is going to streamline a lot of um, more mundane processes, like looking at a blueprint for the first time ever just to make sure the code is in compliance, right? And if a computer can do that, like that speeds up the process, and that allows more economic activity to happen, right? If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I do think that AI adoption is going to be instrumental with not just architecture or like services industry in general, but just kind of across the board. And that's not a secret. I think a lot of people think that, but a lot of people are afraid of AI, and I think that they shouldn't be. I think they should embrace it, because the people utilizing the AI, it's just going to make them better at their jobs. It's going to make them better at their industry, the service they're selling, whatever it is. And then the faster you can do something, the more time that is freed up for you to then do more things, right? And so I think it's going to create a spur of economic activity that's never seen before.
Absolutely. And you said that, frees up more time. There's actually, in my mind, that's going to free up more time for you to do things that, will allow you to spend time doing the things you love or
Exactly.
enjoy.
Like spend time with
And
your
in
family. Yeah.
turn, make a happier person, right? And create a happier and healthier life.
Exactly.
Which is my intention, at least, when I, use AI as a tool.
Exactly. No, I'm right there with you, and that's the thing, And so if you can charge the same amount or even just a little less and do double the work and still bring in what you need to bring in, and that allows, and you had to spend half the time on doing something, and that allows you to go spend more time with your family. I'm all for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you don't live to work; you work to live.
Yeah, 1000% agree there.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, we're talking about futures, things like that.
Sure.
But if you were advising a traditional architecture firm today,
Uh-huh.
what would you, what would be the top piece of advice that you would give them on how to future-proof their operations?
I would say to call us and start using our tools.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
figured.
sign up for a subscription. No. But no. Honestly, I would say keep building things that are cool, and be proactive, be innovative, right? Like, I honestly think that's what's giving us slightly a competitive edge, is that we are just proactive, we're innovative. The world is moving forward, whether the architecture firms want to believe it or not, right? They're going to bring in these tools. These things are going to happen regardless. And so it's better to be a early mover than to be late, right? And so and especially when I mean, there's no risk really, like if you were just trying out something, trying out a new tool, you're like, hey, how can I use this to supplement what I'm doing now? And if it can save me say 6 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes there. So like just for an example, like I'm an attorney and I started using AI 2.5 whenever ChatGPT came out. I was like,
Right.
oh, let me just do this. It's not an end all solution, but it's a supplemental tool to make you better. If it because it would save me 6 minutes, like I said, it would save me 10 minutes, it would save me 20 minutes. And you multiply that 10 times across a day, that's 2 hours, that's 3 hours saved in a day, right? And if you can multiply that across a year, right? And so attorneys bill by the hour, right? And if you can multiply saving 2 hours a day over an entire year's worth of work, I mean, you're essentially saving 25% of your work time because if you work 8 hours a day, save 2 hours, you work 6 hours, you're becoming super much more efficient, right? And so it's the same with architecture and it's the same with any service industry. So if you are utilizing if you are in an industry where you have tools available that can make you better at your job and they're affordable and the cost analysis makes sense, then I would hop on that, big time,
Right.
because the faster, like, because the faster you do things, the cheaper that it is for your client, the faster it is for yourself, the better product that you deliver, and you come in potentially under budget, on time, accurate, right? Those are like the
Right.
three things that you need to do in the architecture firm, and just to get the building up and running.
Certainly. That's, seems like a all-win scenario for everyone,
Yeah,
from yourselves and the clients as well. So,
exactly.
heck yeah. Okay. So, as a company or as a firm, what would you say your guys' biggest challenge or biggest hurdle right now would be?
Um, Biggest hurdle is talking to the firms and getting them to kind of use the tools. I would guess. We are we're kind of moving forward and we're building these things and they are incredibly useful. Like we've been using them internally, and it is speeding up the process and it's making it better, right? And so, but the challenge is to kind of get the other firms on board, right? And beat out our competitors because right now we're really kind of like in the United States at least, the only ones that are kind of really doing this. Like there might be one or two other firms that are building some other stuff, but we're publicly traded. We're out there. The news is happening constantly. We're making moves. And so uh, the biggest challenge is just to onboard architects, onboard construction workers, firms to kind of accept this because uh, honestly, it's an industry that is pretty slow to kind of develop tech. Like there's an art to architecture. Like it's an art. You know what I
Certainly.
mean? Like there's creativity there, and so creatives don't necessarily want a computer doing their job for them, right? Or not for them. They don't want to supplement it, right? Like before AutoCAD came out, everyone was out drawing it by hand in these big, massive tables, right? That have these big blueprints and all these things, and that took a while to get everyone on board because people are stuck in their ways, and some creatives, architects, are more creative than other people, right? And so they can stay in that lane. They can stay because they're more creative. They're better at doing what they're doing than other individuals, right? And so getting them to onboard, to try the product, use it, kind of accept that this is the direction that we're heading, and really be excited about it, because it is a thing where it's 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 supplementing tasks and taking less time to do things that normally say an apprentice would do, right? But if like an apprentice can learn this tool, then they can do, instead of doing one project a week, they can do 10 projects a week. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so then all of a sudden they're getting more exposure, they're getting more experience because they've been able to see all these different projects rather than just being on stuck on one trying to get it across the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can only imagine how much bandwidth is freed up and then leaves you time to, accelerate and grow into things that matter.
Oh, completely.
Okay.
Completely.
Just before we wrap things up today, Tom, just a few
Sure.
questions.
Yeah.
Thomas, if you weren't in your current role, in your current job with the OFA Group right now, what do you think Thomas would be doing instead?
If I wasn't in my current role, And with OFA, hopefully I would be on a ranch somewhere growing vegetables and feeding chickens. No, I mean, hopefully that means I'm retired, right? Because I told my wife, like, I've worked so much, and I, oh man, I told her I was like, once I get enough to get a little good acreage, little plot. I'm just gonna grow vegetables and live off the land, right? So that's it. But in a professional sense, I don't know. I'd probably be working with crypto people and doing that, but I get to do that here, so I'm excited.
That's true. I love that response.
Yeah.
Okay, and for someone listening who wants to make an impact in their industry, what's one action you know that you can recommend they take?
Don't be afraid to try things. Um, I don't know. I've shot and missed probably 100 times in my entire life. And I mean, you heard it beginning. I was supposed to be in the military. I had no business background whatsoever. Like my dad was the son of a milkman. You know what I mean? And so, but now I'm a COO of a publicly traded company. But I just did it by trying things and reaching for what I want to do, right? And don't take no for an answer. Um, just keep moving forward and keep trying. Just keep shooting your shot. And if you keep shooting your shot, someone's going to pay attention, and just go out there and deliver and work harder than anyone else. That's all I can really say.
For our listeners' sake, who want to
Uh,
learn more about OFA Group and your work,
sure.
and of course, some of the projects that you guys have that I'm excited about that are upcoming. Where's the best place to find you guys?
OFAcorp.com is the website. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, at OFA Group, both of them. Instagram as well. We are constantly putting out news. We're constantly doing things. We're constantly trying to move and shake stuff because, like I said, we're builders here. We really believe in the path forward. So you can check us out at ofacorp.com. OFA_group is our Twitter handle. And then just type in OFA Group in the search on LinkedIn. You can find that, and you'll get all the updates and everything that we're doing.
That's terrific. Well, thanks for that. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show today. Your journey from law to architecture and your way of blending innovation with tradition, it's truly inspiring. So thank you for sharing your vision and wisdom of your guys' company. And I know our listeners will take a lot away from this. So wishing you and OFA Group every success in the exciting months ahead.
Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate it, man. It's been a pleasure. You can have me on anytime. Like you said, if you ever want me back, just hit me up and we can get on a call and do it again.
Absolutely.